Everybody, Craig Morgan here. Thank you for joining our Music and More podcast. This podcast is brought to you by Mojo Clothing. Be sure to check them out. It's what I wear when I am in the heat, and it's the only thing I wear in Florida when I'm wearing clothes. Hey, Craig Morgan here. Welcome to my podcast, Music and More. This week's guest, I'm super excited to have him here. He's not actually here, but he will be joining us via Zoom. As you guys know, due to COVID-19, we're doing a lot of that. We do look forward to having him here in the future because aside from being a superstar athlete, a ring wearer from World Series games, the guy's just a superhuman being, and like everybody I have on here, you guys know that's why I bring them here. It's not because they're superstars. It's because they're superhumans. They're great people, and we're proud to have this gentleman. I'm honored to introduce him. My friend, baseball legend, Mr. Ryan Klesko. Hey, buddy.
Hey. How you guys doing?
Where are you?
I'm at an island in Florida.
He's at an island in Florida. That means he's not going to tell us which island. It's probably private. We're proud to have you. Hey, so I got to, the reason I wanted to talk to you this week is because baseball is kicking off, but it's nothing like what baseball normally is. So what is the major, aside from the number of games, there's this week, what is that week called where everybody goes down there? And like, I got friends that go down there. Like Jerry right now is super excited to have you. He's like, he Game Boys you. He loves you.
Like opening week, like opening day. But it's not,
he just said that. Opening day was yesterday. He knows all about it. But what is it where they all go down there and watch the players come in and do their thing?
It's just, it's like in a pregame. The pregame, they go down there and watch batting practice, and it's called pregame, and they get to, all the fans, they might get some autographs. They watch the hitters. They watch the hitters take batting practice, and the pitchers do some warm up, and the team just get ready. And then, but opening day is just a big, big thing. But now most of everybody's doing it through, video, Skype. There's no fans. Eventually, I think they're going to try to bring some fans in, like, here and there and do a lot of social distancing. But I know for the first phase, for the most part, they're doing really any fans yet. They're just, and it depends on each state. But I think right now they're doing baseball with just no fans, which is crazy because, usually when you hit a home run, whether it's on the road or at home, there's either someone cheering or booing you. So it's going to be very difficult. It's going to be different because you hit a home run and you're just going to hear nothing but crickets.
Yeah, and I think about that when we compare our occupations. We both work or play, whatever you want to call it, for crowds. And so when we're doing these shows with no crowds, the energy is different. Do you think this is going to affect the performance of these baseball players that are out there?
I think so because, a lot of that energy that comes from the fans is not there. So it's going to be some adjusting. Like, Craig, when you're in front of a packed house like you usually are, you get that extra adrenaline, right? You got there and you're performing at your best. If that adrenaline doesn't kick in, sometimes it just, I don't know. It's going to be it's definitely going to be different. I think you're going to see some players probably struggle a little bit with that at first. They're just going to have to get used to it. I guess it's like we're wearing the mask, but definitely the adrenaline's not going to be there in the crowd, and it's definitely going to be different. And I think definitely it's going to affect the game a little bit.
Well, and I noticed again, I tell everybody, so we just started. This is the beginning of the podcast. I wanted to tell everyone, don't hate me. I'm not like the baseball fan freak. I don't know a ton about it. I love going to a baseball game. I love to go to a baseball game, sit in the seats and have a hot dog and watch the game. It's something really cool. Watching on TV, I'd rather have a sharp stick poked in my eye. And now the fans, I can't go there and sit and have a hot dog. So I know that this is going to affect. And on top of that, there's a lot less games. Am I right?
Yeah, a lot less games. They're playing essentially, not even I think it's somewhere 60 games, so a little less than a third of the season. And some people think baseball is boring when you're watching TV, right? And it's like, for me, that was me with hockey. I love going to a hockey game, huge hockey. I love going there and seeing the guys be at the game. But on TV, I just couldn't watch hockey on TV. But when I went to the game, that was like my favorite thing to do is go watch a hockey game, see the guys get thrown up against the boards and stuff like that. So, but there's a lot of people that are, itching. It's going to be good for the game of baseball because you're going to get a lot of new fans because there's kids that are still home from school. It's summer. Some of them aren't going back to school this year. You got people that don't have any other sports to watch. So the baseball is really going to gain from bringing back more fans that you usually wouldn't have. And it also helped NASCAR because I think NASCAR is one of the first things comes back. So people are like, well, I've got nothing else to watch. Let's watch NASCAR. And then so NASCAR was gaining some fans too. So I think it's good for baseball that they made the effort to come back, Craig. I think it's going to help. It's going to help.
Oh, yeah, I agree 100%. And I was glad to see NASCAR doing that because I think we can't stop living. My dad and I were talking about we said I would rather die while I was trying to live than to live and just die. I don't want to just sit around and wait for death. But at the same time, I think we have to be precautious. I've used the analogy. I jump out of airplanes. I race a dirt bike through the woods. I've done these things, but I always take precautions when doing it. When I jump out of an airplane, man, we go through check after check after check to make sure that everything's right. We need to do the same thing in our life now. We need to make sure that when we can, we're maintaining social distancing. And when we can't, wear the mask, clean your hands, don't touch your face, do the things you're asking. So live your life, but take all the necessary precautions to be as safe as you possibly can. And in baseball, watching the game, until we can go there, like I told you, I'm not a fan of watching it on TV. But for some reason, I feel like I'm going to be watching baseball this year.
Yeah, that's what's cool. I get it again. It's gonna help promote the game. All the sports need promoting. It's gonna help because there's nothing. Some people don't have anything else to do, but they're gonna get into it because there's not as much stuff there, right? Their favorite sport may not be playing, or they might not be able to go do some extracurricular activities because their local wherever they're going to go play, they're going to go play a pickup game. They can't go, so they're going to sit home and watch baseball. And I think you're going to have a lot of new fans along with a lot of these sports. So it's fun. It's fun excitement. I was talking to Craig. You've met Mike Plant with the CEO of the Braves.
Yep.
He's a good guy and everything. And I kept I was talking to him through all this. I'm like, man, we really need to get something done. It's really going to help the game of baseball. If we can try to make an effort to play this year, it's going to help. It's going to help a lot. So I think that MLB kept pushing. There was a lot of issues that they had to get through, but they're up and they're playing. And actually, because some of my friends of mine, some of the guys, Craig, and you might want to comment on this. Some of the guys decided to opt out to play. They had families. Some of the kids had, some of the guys have families that maybe have a child that's got a respiratory problem or something like that. So I had several friends of mine that are in Major League Baseball that actually opted out not to play this year. And that was something that just concerned. And one of the guys, his wife was pregnant with their first child, and he opted out not to play this year. So everybody's different, right? But for the most part, most of the ball players are playing.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that, Ryan, because I think that's important. I have a daughter-in-law who is pregnant now. My son and my daughter-in-law, they're about to have their first baby. She works in a hospital, so we're nervous about it. And I think it's very important, and this is something we've lost sight of in our society this day. We have to respect other people's opinions. It doesn't mean we got to agree with everything they say or do or want to do. There's a big fuss right now about the mask. Wear the mask, don't wear the mask. I'm telling you, if a store requires you to wear it, I say, okay, if I want to go in there, I have to wear it. I'm not going to stomp my feet out front and get pissy about the fact that they're asking me to wear a mask. You either wear the mask and go in there or don't freaking go in there. You don't have to make a scene about it. I do wear the mask when I go in a place like Lowe's that requires it. And I use this, I told people, because if there's an elderly person there, that it makes feel more comfortable. If by me wearing that mask, it makes someone else feel more comfortable about getting out, spending money, and ensuring that our society is moving forward, then I think it's important that we do that. We need to be a little more kind. But to your point about the someone not wanting to do it for whatever reasons, we have to respect that. My dad is an older gentleman. I don't go over to his house as much as I used to, and when I do go over, I stay at a distance, and that's a little more difficult. My family's big huggers. We're big on that. But, you know, it is what it is right now until we learn more. And as we progress in knowledge, we'll be able to attack it differently.
Yeah, I think, you know, respecting others in this deal too, because, you know, my mom's older and she's got had respiratory problems. Everybody's different. And the thing is, yeah, respect others. When the store asks you to wear their mask or don't come in, you either wear it or you don't go in. And, you know, there might be a lady at the cash register that's had health problems or something that's trying to make a living. So yeah, it's just, yeah, don't stomp your feet. Just respect that. I mean, it's not that big a deal, and go on with it. You know, it's just, you know, it's not. And I think the whole point is it's not just about me and you. It's about other people. And I think that once people realize that, a lot of the stuff will calm down.
I agree. Well, at the beginning of this, I alluded to the fact that I don't listen. I'm not the baseball guy, but I wanted to say that because not that I don't like baseball, but I wanted people to understand when I met Ryan, I didn't meet Ryan knowing that Ryan was this superstar baseball player. I met him because he was this freaking awesome outdoorsman, great human, husband, father, and we shared a lot of common interest in that way. It wasn't until after we got to know each other for some time that I realized that I was hanging out with baseball royalty. And even now, we never talk baseball, but I wanted you to be here today because of opening day. Baseball is coming, and I think it's important. It is an American tradition, and I think it's important that we as fans, as people, support what is going on, what we support, what is happening, because the fact that baseball is doing something is good. I think it's good that they're trying to do something to keep the game going, and we need to do that in order to keep our country going. We need to keep moving forward. We need to spend money. We need to buy products, American-made products. We need to do these things to help our country to continue to go forward. But I wanted to make sure that people understand I'm not beating up baseball. I just wanted to highlight the fact that Ryan is not just a superstar baseball player, but he's a great human being. I say that about everybody that I have on here. I'm really grateful that you came on. Have you been fishing today? I see the water behind you. It looks great.
So we're in an island. It's called Black's Island in Port St. Joe, Florida, and I own a little bit of shares. And you've been out here, Craig, but the fishing's really good. It's about ready to be good. You know, the last hour or two, especially in the summer, speckled trout and redfish. But a friend of mine that owns some NASCAR teams, Mark Bailey, is here, and he's doing his tequila launch party right now, like behind us. That's it right there.
What is his tequila?
Black Sheep Tequila.
Well, if we had a bottle, we would put it up here right now and launch him and celebrate his launch. Tell him congratulations.
I will.
Well, buddy, I love you. I really appreciate you joining us for this podcast, for the Music and More. We talk about music. You've been a fan of music, and you know, we've done some events where music and outdoor activities were brought together to raise funds for different things. You're a huge supporter of a lot of charitable causes, and I want to thank you for that. I want to thank you for what you continue to do. We love you. We appreciate you. Tell your wife and your family we said hi. And hopefully in a few weeks, I'll see you down there in Florida.
Yes, sir. Come down and see me. It's good talking to you, and love you, Craig. I'll talk to you later, buddy.
All right, brother. Thanks.
Yeah.
One of the kindest people I know. And, you know, it's funny. I've met a lot of celebrity people, athletes, from MMA fighters to baseball players, football players, and we're going to have them on our podcast throughout this time. Or throughout the series as we continue to grow this podcast. I don't know who's going to be on next, but we're going to take a quick break, go to some music, and then after the music, we'll come back with our next guest. He had plastic bags wrapped around his shoes. He was covered with the evening news. Had a pair of old wool socks on his hands. Bank sign was flashing 5 below. It was freezing rain and spitting snow. He was curled up behind some garbage cans. I was afraid that he was dead. I gave him a gentle shake. But when he opened up his eyes, I said, "Old man, are you okay?" And he said, I just climbed out of a cottonwood tree. I was running from some honeybees, drift drying in the summer breeze. After jumping into Calico Creek, I was walking down an old dirt road, past a field of hay that had just been mowed. Man, I wish you'd just leave me alone, 'cause I was almost home. And he said, I was just coming round the barn about the time you grabbed my arm, when I heard Mama holler, son, hurry up. I was close enough for my own nose to smell fresh cobbler on the stove. I saw Daddy loading up the truck. Cane poles on a tailgate, bobbers blowing in the wind. Since July of '85, that's as close as I've been. Yeah, I just climbed out of a cottonwood tree. I was running from some honeybees, drift drying in the summer breeze. After jumping into Calico Creek, I was walking down an old dirt road, past a field of hay that had just been mowed. Man, I wish you'd just leave me alone, 'cause I was almost home. I said, oh man, you're gonna freeze to death, let me drive you to the mission. He said, boy, if you'd left me alone, right now I'd be fishing. I just climbed out of a cottonwood tree. I was running from some honeybees, drift drying in the summer breeze. After jumping into Calico Creek, I was walking down an old dirt road, past a field of hay that had just been mowed. Man, I wish you'd just leave me alone, 'cause I was almost home. Man, I wish you'd just leave me alone, 'cause I was almost home. Almost home, man. Midnight, sitting here, can't see clear, wasting tears on you. Tick-tock, round the clock, on the dot, every thought consumes this missing you. Going round and round like this, is it time to call it quits? Tell me I didn't hear you right. Tell me it's just another fight. No, we ain't going out like this. all alone here at home by the phone, hoping you will call. Yeah, I'll answer it and tell you that I love you, and baby, we can fall in love all over again, 'cause I don't want it to end like this. Tell me I didn't hear you right. Tell me it's just another fight. No, we ain't going out like this. We ain't going out like this. Tell me what I'm supposed to do when I feel like I'm losing you. No, we ain't going out like this. We ain't going out like this. Sometimes it just takes time. Oh, so baby, don't you draw that line. Tell me I didn't hear you right. Tell me it's just another fight. No, we ain't going out like this. We ain't going out like this. Tell me what I'm supposed to do when I feel like I'm losing you. No, we ain't going out like this. We ain't going out like this. Oh, I don't want to go out like this. Oh, yeah. Well, we are back. I said before we went to play some music that we were going to come back with our other guest. We don't actually have another guest on this podcast. What I was meant to say was we'll see who our next guest is for the next podcast. So be sure you stay tuned. One of the things that we talked about is this things opening back up, talking about baseball opening back up, which is why we had Ryan this week, opening day, all of those things happening. So I wanted to talk to Ryan Klesko. The man has the ring. I was going to ask him if he wore his ring all the time, but I can tell you, I know he don't wear it all the time. It'd be like carrying around my my awards all the time. We just, no? Yeah, carry around my Opry trophy. I'm a member of the Opry. I'm a member. I got a ring. We don't do that. At least Ryan don't. He's a good human. So really glad that he was here. But you know, we were talking about things opening back up, and I want to talk about this real quick before I quit for the day. Things are opening back up. Even we as entertainers are going to be doing a few shows here and there. But these shows are going to be a lot different, folks. You're not going to be crushed up against the stage yelling and screaming like we all love. You're going to be socially distanced out in front of us. You're going to have to stick with your group that you come with and maintain your distance. On some occasions, you're going to be asked to wear a mask. You're going to be asked to, make sure you're taking care of your the hand sanitizer stuff. So do that. The shows are going to be different. It's not going to be the way we like it, but it's the only way that we can do it for right now. And if we don't do that, we won't be able to do it at all. It's going to be like there's a lot of these drive-in shows where you're asked to drive in your car, get out of your car, and stay with your group. But when you go get your popcorn or get your beer or whatever, they're going to ask you to wear your mask, maintain social distancing while you're doing that. We're asking the same things when we do what shows we're going to be able to do. So keep that in mind. If it doesn't go well, they're going to shut it down again and we won't be able to do it. So we want to try to do what we can as long as we can until we can get back to normal. So thank you for joining me on the Music and More podcast. There'll be another one in another week. Thanks for watching the Craig Morgan Music and More podcast and listening to it. And if you're listening now, that means you hung on to the end, and we thank you. Show your support by downloading this, sharing it with all your friends, and doing all of that, because when you do that, you get to help us help Operation Finally Home, providing mortgage-free homes for our men and women in the service. God bless you, and thank you.